So the other aspect of this bus analogy that's important, and that's really key, is, and it follows in what we just said, is that they found that the best organizations and companies know who should sit in which seat on the bus. So what that says is you have to have that intellectual honesty with yourself.
To know if you should be in that spot.
Exactly.
Okay.
So there are a lot of people in the wrong seat. And they stay in that wrong seat, and then the bus many times doesn't reach its destination because they're in the wrong seat. And so we talked about the young lady who got her dream fulfilled, but sometimes what you think is a dream is really not a dream.
Okay.
So you should have the ability or the honesty with yourself to say, maybe I thought this is what I wanted to do, but this is really not what I want to do. And so few people do that. And it's really, really important. And I tell you, personally, I was really excited when I was in medical school about pediatric heart surgery.
Okay.
Congenital surgery on the babies, right?
Okay.
It's exciting. Believe me, it's exciting. It's, the anatomy is complicated. Everything is exciting about it. And I trained 11 years to get to that point, to become a pediatric heart surgeon. As soon as I became a pediatric heart surgeon, when I started doing it, I didn't like it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I tell you, it is hard to say, it's a very difficult thing to say, this is not for me. Luckily, my specialty is such that you could pick different things to it. So you could do regular heart surgery, you could do thoracic surgery, you could do pediatrics, so forth, because you're all trained in the whole thing. So the key is, at some point, you have to make a tough decision like that. And you can't let the inertia just take you. Because when you're into it 10, 15 years later and you say, I really don't like what I'm doing, that would be a shame.
Wait, so how did you get out of pediatric heart surgery?
So I decided to do thoracic surgery, and I decided to do robotic surgery. Now, I was lucky that I had, my training allowed me to do any of these things. But my thoughts for all the years were, I'm going to be operating on little babies. And then I found out, operating on little babies was not for me.
Yeah.
And that is, I think, what I'm talking about as intellectual honesty. So I was in the wrong seat.
Yeah.
And so as an organization now, the leader has to have the ability and the trust and the love of the people on that bus to say, Jay, wrong seat for you. You'd be much better in this seat, and so forth. That's an
What if I'm
important-
like, no, I want to be here. This is where I'm supposed to be.
Then you don't belong in the organization. That is a very, very, that's because that was the next thing. That a good leader, again, who establishes his bona fides by the fact that he is caring and he's a level 5 and it's about the organization, that has the trust of the people, has to be able to say, you don't belong on this bus. Because so many buses have people who don't belong. They need to be on another bus.
There are a lot of ways, there are many more ways things can go wrong than it takes for them to go right.
Yes. So know who should be on the bus, who should get off the bus, and which seat they should sit in. That's how the bus goes to the destination.
I think in terms of instilling a culture also where that can take the bus in the right direction, the leader, it's most preferable if the leader leads by example and lives that way.
Yeah.
So for example, let's say you're the leader of this surgery organization that you have,
Yes.
which is accurate.
Yes.
By seeing you work with it, as a matter of fact, there's a letter on this wall right behind where Dr. G is sitting, which says that I've never seen someone perform in the theater the way you do. That person has now felt it themselves. They've felt how good that is. They've seen the results. They've seen the person behind it. And they are more likely to be doing it now after having seen it.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And I tell you, it is what I said earlier about operating on children versus adults and that stuff. That was one of the toughest decisions I have made in my life. And it's not just a decision. It's like everybody around you expects you to do certain things. And for you to come out and say, what you think is not me, it's a tough thing. There are people who do that, you know. I mean, I can imagine there are people who have lived a certain way in their life and quote unquote come out to their friends and so forth. That happens in all different parts of life. That is courage. That is courage. And that's an important thing, to be able to have that kind of courage and honesty with yourself, whatever you do, whether it's a social issue, whether it's work and so forth. And I think that that is the greatest way to have credibility.
What?
That showing that courage to the people around you. The courage to say this when it involves you, to say, I'm wrong, or this is not the way, etc., etc. So it can manifest in many ways like that. So people don't want a leader who is not fallible. They don't want a leader who is always right. They want a leader who cares about the enterprise enough to put himself second to the enterprise and the people in the enterprise. Mm-hmm. That's true leadership. And I think that's an important point. So you know, it's a fascinating thing. I actually do that to my fellows. I've been involved in teaching others to become surgeons all my career, and there have been people who were my favorite people. I tell you, I mean, I can think of two people after 20 years, two people who I really liked, and they were capable, and they were intelligent, and they were so forth, but they weren't meant to do what they were thinking they should do. Mm-hmm. And those were the most difficult and painful conversations I could ever have. Mm-hmm. But that's leadership. That's because I am saving you when I tell you you shouldn't do this. Mm-hmm. You see? That's like getting involved. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, they say that, like, if there's a tragedy happening or there is whatever is going on, bystanders are even guiltier than the person who is doing the tragedy. Mm-hmm. Or committing the crime. Mm-hmm. Same thing. So you can't be a bystander in life, in organizations, etc. You have to get involved, you have to take the pain, and you have to make the tough decisions. And when you do that, things go well. Mm-hmm.